I keep hearing that Epsom salt fixes everything: yellow leaves, slow growth, even blossom end rot. Tonight, we put that to a clean side-by-side that can win or lose on camera. Same soil, same pots, same watering, same light. The only thing that changes is magnesium sulfate. How little we use it, how we apply it, and what happens when we push it too far. If it helps, you'll see it. If it hurts, you'll see that too. No hype, just plants. On the bench, I've got 4 matching planters labeled Control, Low-Rate Drench, Gentle Foliar, and Overuse. The soil is one consistent mix. I've pre-moistened everything to that wrung-out sponge feel, and I'm using the same watering schedule across all 4. Before we touch anything, I'll take a quick baseline: a leaf color card check, a simple height and branching count, and a dry down note so we know how many days this mix usually takes to come back to target moisture. I'm also keeping a cheap EC's TDS pen for runoff so we can catch salts building up before the leaves complain. Here's the plan. The Control gets no Epsom at all. The Low-Rate Drench gets a tiny, well-dissolved dose in water, about half a teaspoon per liter, kept occasional, and only to the soil, never to the foliage. The Gentle Foliar gets an even lighter mix, about a quarter teaspoon per liter in a fine mist, sprayed at lights off so we don't spot the leaves. And the Overuse group, that one's the cautionary tale, a heavy dose people see online and copy without context. We're going to show exactly what that does in a container with limited leaching. Don't repeat it at home. Let this one plant take the hit so yours don't have to. Before I mix anything, a quick truth in plain English: Epsom salt adds magnesium and sulfur. It does not add calcium. It will not cure blossom end rot, which is a calcium and watering consistency problem. If you already feed a balanced fertilizer, or your water is hard and rich in minerals, your plants may not need any extra magnesium at all. More is not better, more is just. More salt in a small pot. I dissolve the Low-Rate Drench fully until there's no grit left at the bottom. I water slowly around the root zone and stop when I see the first hint of runoff. I'm noting the EC number in that runoff. If it spikes far above our baseline, I'll log it so we can connect the dots later between salts in the tray and the way the plant feels. For the foliar, I mist until the leaves are just kissed, not dripping, and I wipe any overspray from the rim so we're not stealth feeding the soil by accident. What am I watching for? True magnesium deficiency shows up as interveinal chlorosis, yellowing between the veins while the veins stay greener, often on older leaves first. If the plant is actually short on magnesium, a small measured dose can nudge the color back over a week or 2. What I don't want is that dull, tired look that happens when salts creep up in a small container. Slower water uptake, edges that brown, and a plant that suddenly drinks less instead of more. That's the Overuse story, and we're going to write it carefully so you never have to. I'll keep everything else boring on purpose. Same light, same watering, no new variables, because the more boring the routine, the louder the signal. On check-ins, I'll show you the scoreboard: height, branching, leaf tone, and days to dry down. If the foliar gives a quick cosmetic lift, we'll say it. If the Low-Rate Drench steadies color on older leaves, we'll say it. And if the Overuse pot starts flashing warning lights, we'll say that even louder. To make this real world, I'm adding a second microtest that Epsom salt is famous for online and famously wrong about: blossom end rot. 2 matched tomato planters, same soil and watering. One gets Epsom, the other gets no Epsom, just a basic calcium-aware routine, and water kept steady. If the plant with Epsom shows that black, sunken spot at the blossom end, and the one with steady watering and calcium doesn't, we've learned something that will save you a season of guessing. If they both do fine because our watering is consistent and our mix is balanced, that's a result too. The simplest habit beat the hack. If the Overuse pot starts to slip, and I expect it might, I won't hide it. I'll show you the rescue in the same clip. A proper flush with clean water until the Runoff EC drops back toward baseline, then a pause on feeding while the plant breathes. Containers don't have endless soil to buffer salts. They rely on us to keep things gentle and give them an occasional reset. As we move through this, listen for the boring advice that wins. Thoroughly dissolve the crystals. Start with one plant as a tester, not the whole garden. Prefer tiny, infrequent doses to heavy hands. Don't spray under hot lights or full sun. Keep foliar to clean leaves in calm conditions. If your fertilizer already lists magnesium, don't layer another product on top unless a soil test or a clear chlorosis pattern says you need it. And if your leaves look fine, put the box away. You're done. By the time we reach our results, I expect 3 things. First, the Low-Rate Drench has the best odds of helping older, pale leaves if, and only if, magnesium was the missing piece. Second, the Gentle Foliar can give a quick cosmetic nudge, but it won't fix a root zone problem by itself. Third, the Overuse pot will teach the lesson we came for: salts up, performance down, and a plant that sighs with relief after a flush. If the control keeps pace the whole way, that's not boring. That's science saying your mix and watering were already doing the heavy lifting. So here's your field guide you can copy tonight. If you truly suspect magnesium is low, try a single plant at a low soil drench rate, fully dissolved, and watch for improvement over 1 to 2 weeks. If you want a faster check, use a very light foliar mist at lights off and look for a modest lift in tone without spots or stress. If runoff numbers climb or the plant drinks slower, stop, flush, and go back to basics. Never reach for Epsom to cure blossom end rot. Fix your watering rhythm and make sure calcium is present and mobile in the mix. And if your garden looks good, celebrate and change nothing. I like tools that earn their way into the kit. Epsom salt can be one of those tools when you actually need magnesium and you treat it with respect. It is not a miracle and it is not a villain. It's a measured ingredient in a measured garden. If you want more clean tests like this, where the result is allowed to be small, real, or even inconvenient, subscribe and ring the bell. In the comments, tell me your pot size, your rate, and whether you drenched or sprayed. I'll pin the clearest field setup so anyone can copy them tonight. Next up, we build biochar at home with a clean apartment-safe method and a before-after soil test that shows you exactly what changed. See you there.